This is exactly how you stand out amongst these normies. You need to change your EE ratio. The EE ratio is something that old school success gurus Brian Tracy and Jim Rohn talked about. These are like the legends. I know you've heard about success gurus and they're like scammers or something. These are like the legends. Your EE ratio is the ratio of how much entertainment you consume to how much education you consume. Most people's ratio is heavily skewed on the entertainment side. All they're thinking about is getting as much pleasure as possible, and so they watch entertaining movies and TV shows and YouTube videos. They're listening to music all the time. But the successful, intelligent people that you wanted to be more like, their ratio skewed like this. Education is way up here. Their consumption of entertaining media is at bare minimum. When they're commuting, they're going on long drives, they listen to podcasts and audiobooks. The average person drives for 500 to 1,000 hours a year. You can go over about 200 books in that time, but most people want to listen to shitty music. When you consume educational, inspiring content, you'll find yourself driven to take action and improve yourself. But it starts with that education. It starts with that insight, that idea that clicks something in your mind to think, wait, you know what? I can do that thing right now. Ask yourself right now, what does your EE ratio look like? All of these other small YouTubers and this modern like soft narrative to make men more feminine and weak, bro, they'll all tell you that it's okay to be weak. They'll tell you that, oh, you know, it's okay to have some entertainment, play your video games, eat your sweet. They'll say this to you, bro. I disagree. It is the number one sin of self-improvement, especially if you are a young person, to waste time. If you are getting absolute 10 out of 10 enjoyment in the time-wasting activity like video games, fair enough, it might be okay. But chances are, you might not want to admit this, and the video gamers, like the foreign nerds, don't want to admit this. You are not getting 10 out of 10 enjoyment when you play video games or you watch Netflix or you watch some bullshit. You're literally sat there mouth breathing and you're like, there's nothing good on. How many times are you going to look through your Steam library of all those games that you've wasted your money on? But Hamza, it's the Steam sale and it's also cheap. How many times are you going to look through it like, there's no good games to play? You're not enjoying that that much anyway. You know what you would enjoy? Instead of leveling up in the virtual world, how about you come and level up in real life? Instead of watching some like random but the new Spider-Man movie, Hamza, how about you make your life more like a movie? And that starts with education, and not the kind of bullshit like soft education that you got in the education system. Your real education starts after you leave the education system. When you start your own self-education, you allow your brain to be curious of the things that you want to learn, and then you go and learn those things. You feel a curiosity in your mind, like, I want to learn sales. Everyone keeps talking about sales, like, you know, sales as a job, like, how could I even sell something? So then you go and buy books on sales. You're like, oh, that's the process. Okay, maybe I could try this as a job now. The beautiful part of all this is that once you get into the habit of consuming way more educational content, it will begin to feel fun for you. When you take a step back from like the modern entertainment that all your peers are into, it's like your tolerance for the things that you enjoy starts to improve and get healthier. Then get this, you'll literally start to enjoy like the good habits. Right now, you might not enjoy like the things you know you're supposed to do, like get an early night of sleep, go and exercise, take walks, study. You might not enjoy that. The reason why you don't enjoy these things which are so important for you is because you do things that are a million times more fun. The good natural activities that used to give us enjoyment and fulfillment can't, because the modern technologies have f***ed up like your dopamine reward system, just like this video. The more you consume like hyper stimulated edits, the less you can enjoy like a book. I've baited you in and made you addicted to my videos with all these fancy edits. How about you have some respect for yourself and commit to your own development so that you don't need all this stimulation? When you start to cringe at my videos and think that they're too over edited, that's when you know you've made some decent progress.